You are not just borrowing from your lender, you are borrowing from your future self. Ray Dalio. Let that sit for a second. You wake up, you check your phone, you scroll past an ad for a brand new 75-inch flat-screen TV. It's beautiful, it's on sale, and there's a little button that says, 12 months, 0 interest. And something in your brain says, yes, I deserve this. I work hard. Life is short. So you click it. What just happened in that moment? Because it wasn't just a purchase, it was a contract. A contract between you today and you in the future. And the you in the future didn't sign anything. Welcome to the Sandbox. I'm your host. And today, we are going deep on something that has shaped every civilization, every empire, every financial crisis in human history. We're talking about borrowing, where it came from, how it evolved, why it built the modern world, and why, if you're not careful, it will quietly destroy your future. This episode is called Borrowing Evil. Let's get into it. Before we talk about borrowing, we need to go back. Way back, to a time when there were no banks, no interest rates, no credit scores. Approximately 3000 BC, Mesopotamia. Pure barter economy. You have grain, I have sheep. We swap, but barter had a fatal flaw, the double coincidence of wants. You needed someone who had what you wanted, and who wanted what you had, at the same time. The first loans. Communities started lending grain during droughts. Herders lent animals for breeding season and expected offspring back. Borrowing in its purest form, not for greed, but for survival and production. The original logic. You lend me grain so I can plant my fields. Come harvest time, I give you back your grain, plus a share of what grew. The loan made something happen. It created output that didn't exist before. This is the foundational, original logic of borrowing. Borrowing tied to a future yield. And it is noble. It is the engine of civilization. But then, things got more complicated. As communities grew, as trade expanded, as economies became more complex, a simple grain loan wasn't enough anymore. People needed a system, a way to price risk, a way to compensate lenders for waiting, a way to keep the whole machine moving. And so, around 2000 BC, in ancient Babylon, the concept of interest was formalized. The Code of Hammurabi, one of the oldest legal texts in human history, actually set maximum interest rates. 20% on silver loans, 33% on grain. The Babylonians understood that interest needed to be controlled, or it would destroy people. Think about that. 4,000 years ago, humans were already wrestling with the same tension we live with today. As civilizations evolved, ancient Greece, Rome, the Islamic world, medieval Europe, the debate around interest never stopped. The church actually banned it for centuries. They called it usury, charging money for money, and considered it a sin. The idea was, you didn't create anything by lending money, so why should you profit from it? And yet, it persisted, because it worked. Interest compensated people for risk. It gave lenders a reason to part with their wealth. It allowed borrowers to access capital they didn't have. Then came one of the most transformative moments in economic history. It's the 14th century. Northern Italy. Cities like Florence and Venice are exploding with trade. Merchants are moving goods across continents, and they have a problem. Carrying gold and silver across dangerous roads is deadly and slow. So families like the Medici, yes, that Medici, invented something new, the bank. Here's how it worked. You deposit your gold in Florence, you get a letter of credit, you travel to Venice, you hand that letter to a partner bank, they give you equivalent funds, no gold needed to cross the road, no risk of robbery. But it went further. Banks discovered something profound. Not all depositors withdraw their money at the same time, so the bank could lend out a portion of what it held, and charge interest on those loans, while still being able to serve its depositors. This is called fractional reserve banking. Money was no longer just what was in your pocket. Money became a promise, a relationship between a lender, a borrower, and the future. Much later, in 1913, the United States created the Federal Reserve. The idea was to create a lender of last resort, a system that could smooth out the booms and busts that markets naturally produce. The banking system gave humanity enormous power, the power to fund innovation, to build infrastructure, to fight wars, to recover from disasters. But it also gave humanity a new kind of danger. Here is where I want you to really pay attention, because this is the part that most personal finance content skips. Not all debt is the same. There are two fundamentally different kinds of borrowing. The first kind, productive borrowing. This is borrowing that creates yield, borrowing that invests in a future that generates more than it costs. Think about a farmer in 1850. Bad harvest. He borrows seed grain from the landowner. He plants. He harvests. He pays back the grain plus interest. And he still has a surplus. The loan made something happen. It created output. It repaid itself. Fast forward to today. A woman borrows $50,000 to go to medical school. She graduates. She earns $200,000 a year. The debt created a return, a future yield that vastly exceeds its cost. A business owner borrows $200,000 to buy commercial equipment. The equipment generates $400,000 in revenue over 5 years. The debt paid for itself 3 times over. This is the logic of good debt. It bridges a gap between today's capacity and tomorrow's output. The loan is the seed. The future yield is the harvest. And at a macro level, this is exactly how economies grow. The second kind, consumptive borrowing. Now here's where it gets uncomfortable. You want a 75-inch TV. It costs $2,000. You don't have $2,000. So you put it on credit, 18 months to pay it back, at 22% interest. What just happened? You bought something that produces nothing. And your future self, the one who will receive that monthly statement for the next year and a half, had no say in the decision. Imagine two people. Both earn $5,000 a month. Let's call them Marcus and Daniella. Marcus sees a boat. He's always wanted a boat. It costs $40,000. He puts it on a marine loan at 9% interest over 7 years. Monthly payment, $630. Gone. Every month, for 7 years. For something that, statistically, he will use an average of 12 days a year. Now Daniella, she wants a boat too, but instead of buying it on credit, she puts $1,000 a month into an investment account. After 3 years, she has enough for a down payment, and her loan is half the size. Or she discovers she can charter a boat whenever she wants, for a fraction of the cost. Marcus is paying for his past. Daniella is investing in her future. This is not about whether you should enjoy life. It absolutely is not. This episode isn't about deprivation. It's about sequencing. It's about understanding the invisible cost of pulling tomorrow's money into today for something that doesn't grow. So let's bring this full circle. Borrowing is ancient. It is part of what makes us human. Our ability to imagine a future and borrow from it to build something better today. But somewhere along the way, as banks got bigger, as credit got easier, as marketing got smarter, the original logic of borrowing got flipped. Instead of borrowing to create yield, we started borrowing to consume now. Instead of seeds, we started planting flat screens. Instead of building tomorrow, we started eating it. The question to ask, every single time credit is involved, is this: does this loan create something that will generate more than it costs? Or am I making my future self pay for a pleasure I can't afford today? That single question will save you more money than any budget spreadsheet ever will. I'm your host, this is the Sandbox, and if this hit home, share it with one person who needs to hear it. Because understanding this stuff is the beginning of building real financial freedom. See you next time.